The top stories. Government has more pruning to do, but the economy is poised for growth, says the central bank. Schoolboy appears in court on marijuana charge, and UE turns its sights to football development. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, October the 21st, 2014.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News, your time, your way.
Mark this figure, $175 million. That's what government still needs to raise or to cut to reach its fiscal target in the second half of this financial year. Whether that will mean further spending cuts or tax rises is left to be seen, perhaps in the forthcoming budget. So clearly, the seat belts will remain fastened, as they say. This was one of the key points in the central bank's economic review for the first 3 quarters of the year, ending September. The Barbados economy has been flat during this period. Bank Governor Delisle Worrell reported no growth, but no decline either. Dr. Worrell was, however, optimistic about things going forward.
The Barbados economy is firmly set on the path to sustainable growth, led by the sectors and activities in which we have a demonstrated comparative advantage over the competition in terms of quality, productivity, and the strength of the Barbados brand. Focused efforts are underway with the assistance of the international financial institutions to raise the level of public sector performance. The Barbados economy is forecast to grow by 2% in 2015 and by 2.3% in 2016.
For a second time, the governor is holding no news conference to discuss the economic review. Parliament has begun debating the broad range of concessions for tourism that were triggered by sandals. Leading off the debate, Tourism Minister Richard Seeley said earnings for Barbados as a result of the entry of the Jamaican resort chain could exceed $200 million annually. He said the sandals investments in Christchurch and St. Peter will lead to a substantial improvement in the quality of the local product offering, an additional 84,000 visitors and 1,600 jobs. Royal Pavilion Hotel in St. James is remaining in the upscale Fairmont Hotels and Resort chain, despite its recent sale. This has been confirmed by the acting general manager of the 17-acre West Coast property, Tim Morrison. Global real estate brokerage CBRE Hotels recently announced the sale of the hotel to London Regional, a property company said to be one of the largest privately held property companies in Europe. Extensive renovations have been carried out on the 5-star luxury hotel's 72 rooms and is now gearing up for the winter tourist season. The country's newest centenarian is Kenneth Smith of Walker's St. Andrew. Mr. Smith lives on his own, but his well-attended birthday party took place at his daughter's residence at Prior Park Heights, St. James. He still does some household chores like pressing his own clothes and shining his shoes, and that was just what he did before meeting the chief guest of honor, Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave. Mr. Smith, a devout Christian, said he was feeling all right despite problems with his hearing and sight. A schoolboy has appeared in the District A Magistrates Court charged with possession of marijuana. 16-year-old Shamario Stephen Walters of the Rosemont Housing Village in Deacons admitted having cannabis on his school's premises on Monday. Police Sergeant Neville Watson told the court the boy was asked to empty his pockets in the presence of 2 guidance counselors after a rustling sound was heard. 2 small packets of cannabis were found inside a plastic bag. A pre-sentencing report was ordered on the teenager, who is due to return to court in mid-December. Agriculture will be promoted as a business to school children at next year's AgroFest, so says Chief Executive of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, who suggested that fostering good business practices from an early age would help in the development of agriculture. He made the comments on Monday as he addressed students of the Gordon Waters Primary School who took the 3 top spots in the oral competition during last year's AgroFest. Next is Hayden Gale with this week's commentary on the, shall we say, sorry state of West Indies cricket.
West Indies cricket is clouded in controversy once again. This latest impasse has far-reaching implications for all concerned. As the WICB directors met today to discuss the ramifications over the aborted tour of India, we have to ask ourselves if the withdrawal of the player services could have been avoided. Even in the absence of all the information, it seems obvious that all 3 parties must take some of the blame. The top brass of the West Indies Players Association had a responsibility to share the new Memorandum of Understanding and collective bargaining agreement before signing off on the dotted line with the WICB. As the potential of a strike loomed, the least the WICB could have done was to entertain a request from the players that the new MOU-CBA be delayed until further negotiations took place, all in the interest to ensure that the tour proceeded. Finally, the players ought to have known that their actions could have triggered a severe backlash that could result in lawsuits, suspended tours, and a dent to the image of West Indies cricket. The damage has been done. How it is resolved is left to be seen.
A FIFA executive member wants the World Cup to return to the CONCACAF or North, Central American and Caribbean region by 2026. A CONCACAF member has not hosted the tournament since the United States did so in 1994, and Jeffrey Webb, who is also CONCACAF president, says he's tired of waiting. He was speaking in Barbados at the opening of the inaugural SoccerX America Forum at the Sandyford Center. Mr. Webb said it would be an injustice if the area went more than 32 years without hosting FIFA's showpiece event. Well, CONCACAF officials have been busy while here, also signing a memorandum with UE on future collaboration on football development. UE principal Sir Hilary Beckles said he hoped to see greater alliances between academia and football.
Our belief at the university is that we have a role to play in assisting all of the sporting disciplines with the development of their skills, as well as their management, their thinking, their strategies, and of course the comprehension of the wider mission of the enterprise. As you know, we have done some very good work in the area of building a high-performance center for the cricketing discipline. It is our plan to develop a high-performance center for soccer.
And finally, a man serving a prison sentence for murder in Connecticut is suing the American state over its ban on printed pornography in prisons. 40-year-old Dwight Pink filed a lawsuit challenging the state's ban on printed materials depicting nudity or sexual activity, alleging the ban is an infringement of his right to free speech. Pink is serving a 56-year sentence for a 1998 murder. A response filed by the state said his rights were not violated and the ban on viewing porn has not harmed him. The lawsuit is seeking an end to the ban as well as $50,000 and attorney's fees. That's Nation News for Tuesday. For more, visit nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can subscribe to our e-paper or get your Midweek Nation at newsstands on Wednesday.